Hey guys, what is going on? It is Anthony here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be checking out the Ernie Ball Music Man John Petrucci Majesty 8-string. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. We're just gonna hop right into the specs here. So on this guitar, we have two dimarzio pickups. We have a Dreamcatcher 8 and Rainmaker 8 John Petrucci signature pickups here. We also have a 8-string piezo as well as an 8-string Ernie Ball Music Man fixed bridge. We also have a 3-way toggle, we have a 20 dB boost, we have a coil tap, and we also have a mono stereo volume pot for the piezo or however you say it. And we also have a toggle switch up here to control the magnetic and piezo voicings as well. We have 24 stainless steel medium jumbo frets. We have a neck through body construction. We also have 8 Shaler locking tuners as well as a multi-scale. We have a 25.5-inch scale length on the high and a 27 on the low. So now that we got all the specs out of the way, what do I think of this guitar as in my first impressions reviewing this for you guys? To be honest with you, I love the guitar. As someone that is not really an 8-string guy, at least predominantly, even though I have a lot of appreciation and respect for many great 8-string bands throughout the years and whatnot, this is one of, if not the most comfortable 8-string I've ever felt in my hand. The neck through body construction to get to the high frets from low to high is just really nice on this instrument. The versatility, like you would expect from any Majesty or JP model from Ernie Ball Music Man, it's such an amazing done deal because you even get the fixed bridge, so you have nothing to worry about in terms of, you know, the hassle of restringing this thing with like a locking or floating bridge, which is really, really nice. And the Shaler locking tuners and just the overall multi-scale design is just genius. Like, I love the tension on the low strings, and I love that the high strings are not being compromised to where it's still very, very comfortable for soloing like you would be on a Majesty 6 or Majesty 7 for that matter. So for someone that's just, like I said, is not really an 8-string guy, even though I do love occasionally picking this up and I love to occasionally riff out on like stuff that requires it, this guitar was like the one exception for me. And because, I mean, you guys know, like once the Majesty 8-string came out, I knew eventually I had to get my hands on one. And I was actually able to pick this one up used locally for a really, really good deal. And I've had this guitar for a year and I can't wait to tell you guys more about it, but I just wanted to give you guys some, you know, quick first impressions. Just so I don't, you know, become a chatterbox on here, I am gonna plug this in for you guys. I'm gonna go through my load box. I'm gonna put my amplifier that I choose above here, and I will see you guys on the other side. So now that you've heard this instrument, what are the pros and cons? Starting with the pros, the first pro that we could talk about is that you're getting the Dreamcatcher and Rainmaker dimarzio signature set of Johns in an 8-string configuration. You may think that this is no big deal, but it is a big deal when you think about it, because I've talked to both Ernie Music Man and I've talked to dimarzio about it, and they only offer these in this guitar. So if you do want 8-string versions of these pickups that you have in, say, your Majesty 6 or Majesty 7, you can only get them in an 8-string if you buy the Majesty 8-string. So there is a clear incentive to buying this guitar if the pickups are a big deal to you. That being said, you also get the 8-string piezo system with a fixed bridge, which is the only John Petrucci signature guitar that has a fixed bridge that's a hardtail, and it's string through. You also get the neck through construction. You also get the same old 20 dB boost and coil tap that you would get on a Majesty or a JP model, and you're getting a multi-scale on a John Petrucci signature. And it makes riffing a lot of fun and great tension, and you still get to solo extremely comfortably without compromising the tightness for the lows, which is really nice. And the tuning stability is great, and restringing this thing is not even a chore at all with the locking tuners that you have from Shaler here. And it's just the overall design, it's super ergonomic. For an 8-string, it's actually not heavy, but it's one where, if I had to say myself, it's easily one of the most comfortable 8-strings I've ever felt, if not the most comfortable. It may come with a high price tag, but playability is extremely smooth, and the versatility and just the whole package that you're getting for the deal is absolutely there. And truthfully, to top it all off, the Dreamcatcher and Rainmaker pickups may be medium output, but let me just tell you guys this. I prefer usually hotter pickups than these, like the Illuminators as well as the Sonic Ecstasies, but I still like the Dreamcatcher and Rainmaker despite that. And with the 8-string, these pickups have a ton of clarity when you're running a good amount of gain, and they clean up so well. I mean, John spec'd these out very well, and I see why he went with these, especially for even extended range, because they truly offer such amazing tones right out of the gate. It may take some tweaking, but let me tell you, your picking dynamics really shine through, and the clarity and the note separation from like the high strings to the low strings just comes through with ease, and it doesn't sound muddy. It still sounds tight, but it sounds aggressive all at the same time while having great note clarity. I mean, I think that'll sum it up for the pros, but yeah, I really think these pickups are a heavy incentive to getting this guitar. Now that we got the pros out of the way, what are the cons? Well, the first con that we can obviously get right out of the gate here is the price. Last time I checked, these guitars retailed for around $4,200. Now, like you would expect any Ernie Music Man, I'll go into whether or not it's worth it later on in the video after I go over the cons. But $4,200 is a lot of money for this. And it's something where you may think it's not worth it, you know, unless you're a massive John Petrucci fan, which I can understand where, you know, if you are thinking that, I can understand where you're coming from. I can truly get that for sure. But I'll say this from my perspective. Even if I'm looking at this from the perspective of someone that wasn't a John Petrucci fan or a Dream Theater fan, think about it this way. You're getting the 8-string version of these pickups. You're also getting an 8-string piezo on a fixed bridge, as well as the 20 dB boost, as well as the coil tap, and all the things that you would get from a Majesty, as well as the stainless steel frets and the neck through construction, you know, the multi-scale, the locking tuners, and the ergonomic design. But some of you may also think, well, I don't need those things. Well, I'll say this too. Even if you don't need these things, again, I'm not like forcing anyone to think that you have to buy this. I'm just doing a review here. But if I'm being honest with you guys, I do think though, for what you're getting, it's almost reasonable to some extent if you truly think about it. Again, I'll elaborate further. I don't want to go too off topic here. But the other con though I do want to also mention is that the neck, although the neck shape and the neck design is very, very comfortable, at least specifically on this Majesty 8, it is a glossy neck. That being said, it's not the most sticky glossy neck, but it's still a gloss neck nonetheless. Now, is that a big deal? I don't think it is, because I could always taper this off and take Scotch-Brite and, you know, matte this out and turn it into a satin finish. So it's not a big deal to me, but it may be for some people who don't want to take that risk. But other than those two things, and other than the fact that it can be a little bit neck heavy when you're sitting down, if you're putting it on this leg as opposed to this leg, like, there's really no cons that I can truly speak of, because like I said, I mean, the playability is really excellent. It's top notch. This is a world-class instrument. It's just all a matter of, is the price justifiable enough for you, the consumer? And I'm about to answer that question right now, but I think that's going to sum it up for the cons, because there's really no other cons that I can think of besides, you know, the glossy neck on this one and the price. I mean, everything else though is really phenomenal. So now all for the moment of truth here. Question I'm going to answer, is this guitar worth $4,200? In all honesty, as I have been throughout this entire video, I will say this, yes and no. Majority, yes, because you are getting an entire whole package of amazing features and exclusive features that only applied to this guitar. So there is a heavy incentive when you do pull the trigger on one of these, and you're getting the amazing build quality that you would expect from, you know, all the other Ernie Ball music bands that you have played. I mean, it's really the whole package for an all-in-one solution for an 8-string guitar. Now, I know this is not maybe everyone's cup of tea, and not everyone is a big Dream Theater fan. But even if you're not, I could still see it being justifiable. The reason why I also, though, say no in some cases, however, though, is because if you're somebody where it's just like, you know, at the same time, again, it just depends how much you're going to use the extra features. For me, it's nice to have, but like, I can understand why some people would say, well, I don't need the 20 dB boost. I don't need the coil tap or the piezo on the 8-string. I just want to go up there, play rhythm, and kill it with 1 or 2 pickups and be done and set and forget. I don't need all the extra bells and whistles. And that, like I said, that's completely valid. And that's the only reason I could see someone saying no. And maybe if they're not heavily influenced or inspired by, you know, John Petrucci himself, that's totally valid. That being said though, I do think this is, however, one of the best 8-string guitars on the market in terms of playability, craftsmanship, just pure tone, and just versatile tonal options that John gives you on this, that honestly, I would give it a 10 out of 10 guitar picks. This guitar is absolutely legit, and for someone that's not an 8-string guy, this is the one exception for me. That being said though, just because it's the one exception, however, for me, doesn't mean it's the one exception for everybody. Everyone has a different preference. Everyone has a different way of how they vibe with it. Like I said, if you're somebody that is heavily influenced by John Petrucci and you've played the Majesty 6 and 7 string models, you will absolutely fall in love with this guitar without a shadow of a doubt. If you're somebody that's doesn't really like, say, is a massive Dream Theater fan, or you're somebody that wants to get an H string but doesn't want to spend a lot of money, this may or may not be for you. These do pop up, however, on the used market for in like the late 2000s price range to like early 3000s price range. So if I were to encourage anyone to get the best deal possible, though, I would say definitely look on the used market, because you can find some of these for like in that price bracket, and you're getting a great guitar and you're getting all the amazing features and whatnot. And there's even some Majesty H strings that even have a satin neck and satin finish all around. So if you're somebody where you're bothered by the gloss neck, but you don't want to make the modification yourself, you can look for one that has a different color option or finish option. And chances are you could probably eventually find one on the used market. And I highly encourage it. Like, I would say though, if you are somebody that has money to kill, I would still recommend buying it brand new, because you're going to be hooked up with an amazing guitar. I did also forget to mention that it also does come with a hard shell case as well. So if you do get one, you are set for all the amazing features, the quality, an amazing hard case, and just everything from the neck through body construction and the nice lightweight and the tuning stability and just the overall design of the multi-scale and everything. This guitar plays great, and it's the only H string in my collection for a very good reason. That all being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see more guitar reviews, don't forget to subscribe right down below. Leave a comment. Do you think the Majesty H string is worth it? Do you think it's overpriced? I'd love to hear your thoughts right down below in the comments. Don't forget to give this a like as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.